I remember I watched him way back in like 2010 or 11 or 12, somewhere around there. It was around the point in the era where he was like bigger than PewDiePie, Markiplier. Like he was the biggest gaming channel there was. And then eventually all the other YouTubers outgrew him. And I don't even really remember what happened to him. I don't. Like I did not hear a single thing about what happened to Tobuscus and like why did he suddenly disappear. So this video is hopefully gonna break it down. It's made by Royalty, so Royalty does kind of explain things pretty well.
So we all remember Tobuscus. Sorry, I forgot some of my demographic was born after the PewDiePie bridge incident of 2017.
What a fucking
nice distinguished person.
Oh yeah.
Most of you probably only know Markiplier, Mr. Beast, Queso.
Like I said, yeah, no, PewDiePie was literally actually below Tobuscus back in the day.
Creekcraft. But if
I
you
never
spawned
seen
in
him.
the same time I did, music like this was our childhood.
When we're waiting for the bus, we gotta be.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. This was our shit.
About to bat a battlefield back to 1942.
This was about it. Oh yeah, and then there's the Markiplier
Most of these
outro.
songs are actually older than some of the people watching. God, am I getting old?
Oh yeah.
But around the start of the 2000s and early 2010s, you had some
The real
creators
shit.
that had set the precedent for the landscape that is today's YouTube. They essentially laid the foundations for many other content creators. Just for most of you to become hooked on the dopamine highs, that is watching the most fictional Reddit stories like saying, "Am I the asshole for putting
That is
my
true.
newborn baby in an oven preheated to 220 degrees?"
That is true.
purposely,
This is the shit you see
without
nowadays.
seasoning, with Subway surfers or soap cutting below the video just to keep you engaged. My personal favourite brain rot slop is the ranking lists.
You're about to watch a master at work.
That is true. Majority of the internet now is full of all of these eye-catching ADHD traps that people are like looking at, and they don't even realize it themselves. They're just stuck out looking at the screen, and they're not even self-aware at the fact that they get stuck out watching this shit. Dude, I swear to God, every time I scroll through shorts and whatnot, and I see those ADHD traps, I just immediately go through it. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna fall for that shit. Even though on the other hand, you're still doom scrolling. So either way, when you're doom scrolling and you're also falling for these ADHD traps, which keep you trapped in shorts for like 10 years, which is why you gotta be really careful when you're just looking at these fucking dumb shorts, dude. It's all over TikTok, it's all over Instagram, it's all over Twitter, it's all over literally almost every single media platform there is, which is why you gotta be really careful. Oh my God.
But the early days of YouTube is a nostalgia trip for many of us.
The early
Some
days of
the
YouTube
creators
was
that
actual,
influenced that
yeah,
nostalgia
actual
when we were
entertainment
kids
instead of
have
just
kids
ADHD
of their
traps.
own now and have moved on from YouTube or are still making videos to this day as either a hobby or with a completely different pace, due to most of them being in their late 20s to mid 30s. Yeah, it's hard to keep the same energy and upload schedule at that age, let alone keep up with the daily trends with whatever the fuck this is.
Chicken Jacquie.
But these people are the forefathers of YouTube, and are
Oh, yeah.
beloved by many, especially the creators that specialized in content like Minecraft. I'm talking Yogscast, Captain Sparkles, Stampede, the
Oh my
Diamond
God.
Minecart. Cancelled number 1, cancelled number 2. Unfortunate ending to his relationship, but glad he still put the intro in his breakup video. The Syndicate
Sorry, hold
Project
on.
Craft.
Who was
I'm
who
talking
were
Yogscast,
canceled?
Captain Sparkles, Stampede, the Diamond Minecart. Cancelled number 1.
Okay. I remember this. I literally don't even remember this specific episode. Jesus Christ, this Cops and Robbers. This guy does Minecraft. I think we've been through the story over with him where he turned out to be really abusive towards his friends and whatnot, and he was also very manipulative. I think that's from what I've heard. So there was a good solid reason as to why he got canceled.
1, cancelled number 2. Unfortunate.
I don't know who that is though. Who is that? Who's canceled number 2?
Stampede, the Diamond Minecart.
Sorry.
Cancelled number 1, cancelled number 2.
Who is this? Is this Gizzy Gaza? Is this Gizzy Gaza? I don't know, dude. Like, I'm looking at his Minecraft hand. I can only recognize that as Gizzy Gaza. Who? Gizzy Gaza was like one of those guys who played with Sky Does Minecraft, and dude, he made a lot of Minecraft content, but then he just disappeared. Now, I can't tell if this is Gizzy Gaza or if this is Seth Rogen. I can't remember. I don't know. Dude, I don't know. I have to do more research into that later.
He still put the intro in his breakup video. The Syndicate
Popular
Project,
Moss,
whose philosophers are still debating if he faked his round 115 COD Zombies run. But there is another.
A lot of people loved Popular Moss back then.
Just as integral and prevalent in the infancy era of YouTube. Tobuscus, or Toby Turner, someone that was once known for his Happy Wheels and Minecraft gameplay. His music
he played a lot of
games,
Happy Wheels. That's what he was really popular for.
Which is enough to awaken most people like a sleeper agent with nostalgia. His apparent movie appearances, when one, he's just standing there, not even uttering a word, just nodding his head like he was the deaf interpreter for the movie, just listening so he can throw all of his gang signs a second later. He was also in 3 other movies which did pretty well. And from what I could see, he had a talent for acting. But
I was about to say, I didn't know he was an actor.
Liked him or his online persona.
Holy no! Bounty Jupiter! No! What just happened? Oh, come on!
Which was a comedic, light-hearted, goofy guy. He was well-known, respected,
I did hear about him
influenced
being in
so
movies, but I
many
didn't like see any of them.
Which was a reputation that quickly crumbled due to many controversies and dramas, most occurring behind the facade of his online persona.
He sounds funny.
In recent years,
but like I said, this guy was like the funny content creator to watch back then. Like I said, this was the guy you would go to watch when there wasn't any people like PewDiePie and Markiplier and all that stuff. This guy, like, he was actually really funny and entertaining to watch back then when we were all kids. But like now we've outgrown it, and like I said, I have no idea what happened to him.
Said reputation has only gotten worse, with questionable
there's so many
that are
videos on him.
polarizing compared to earlier content, regular crash outs on other platforms like Twitter, some even happening quite recently, and his political opinion
what was that?
polarizing compared to earlier content, regular crash outs on other platforms like Twitter.
It's on Twitter.
Some even
quit acting offended. Deleting this in 15 seconds because it contains F-bomb, and 50 seconds, no one will hear it. Well, you failed at that.
Happening quite recently, and his political opinion he spreads on his platform. I don't know why it's a requirement for most content creators nowadays to preach their own political takes or combine it with their content or platform.
Being political is the one way to like ruin your audience, especially when you built up a gamer audience. Let's be honest. Same goes for Asmongold here. Even though I still watch him from time to time. Oh my god, did I forget to mention about the whole trans VTuber thing where Asmongold made the trans VTuber look bad? And when I looked at the full context, the trans VTuber wasn't promoting the whole, bad shit. The trans VTuber was actually making a point. Asmongold just make them look bad. So the video I made earlier of me saying shit to that trans VTuber, I took it all back. Immediately took it all back. I immediately raised my hands and I called myself the fool. Asmongold just pulled another stupid. He pulled off another stupid. But yeah, as I was saying, he starts watching politics and it's like, what the hell is going on? He's trying to like, is he trying to divert his audience or something? I don't know.
Want to watch reacts and body cams in peace, but I can't seem to escape it no matter where I look. But this is Tobuscus, or Toby Turner, someone that personally influenced my childhood and someone I completely forgot about till his most recent crash out. And the subject of today's video since I remembered he existed. But who is Tobuscus?
No way.
Again, audience. From left off, I had glasses on my head.
So Toby Turner was born on the 3rd of March 1985, meaning by the time of this video he would be in his 40s.
Damn!
Toby made his start on YouTube under the name Tobuscus in
2006.
Yes, that was almost 2 decades ago.
Holy
and he
shit!
was spawn camping YouTube because YouTube
He was in
made
his
a year
20s.
prior, and it was not as well known around
Late
that
20s, I
period.
think. I don't
But
know.
His first video was titled "What I Do with a Remote from Click," a reference and parody of the
Yeah.
Adam Sandler movie Click, a movie that has unironically become popular again through YouTube Shorts and TikTok clips,
Oh, yeah.
despite the movie being very old at this point.
Oh yeah.
Is a good movie though,
2006.
but even from his first upload, you can see his enjoyment for acting, playing characters, and movies. As a lot of his earlier videos are reenactments of movie scenes and skits, but throughout some of his first uploads you can see the personality and characteristics that would later become one of his best selling points.
I've been watching Heroes, and all I can think about is, does Claire's hymen regenerate?
What?
Is that weird?
And Jesus Christ, was he an alcoholic. But for now,
What
Toby
the
wouldn't
hell?
see any success from these videos, and when he eventually did, it was primarily down to his skills in remixing and producing music,
Nah.
with his earliest success being the video Don't Tase Me Bro, uploaded in September
Oh my God.
2007. A remix
That was
produced by him
all
of his
over
friend
the
being tased
internet.
at a university conference, seemingly for
Don't
something he
tase me,
said,
bro!
or just generally being obnoxious and
That
refusing
was
to leave.
so viral back then. That
Who
was
needs enemies when your
so
friend Toby will
viral
record you
back
being
then.
tased, turn it into a viral success,
Yep.
and then sell t-shirts about said situation. But don't worry, all the earnings supposedly went to that friend that was being tased. The internet was such a simpler time back then. But even
yeah.
with this viral success, it seemed Toby didn't really know what type of content to upload. I mean, this was the start of YouTube, before people were getting paid for it and before
yeah.
anyone considered it a job. But
yeah.
he was experimenting, uploading a variety of videos. From skits to music videos to vlogs to crazy squirrel threesome
Wow.
in HD, my personal favourite. He also gave birth to his own theme song within this time frame. And his
Jesus.
wildly recognised animated intro. And he was also communicating and joking around with his audience he had at the
The
time.
squirrel
Hello,
what?
Viper
Best not to
497.
question it.
I see you can play my theme song. If you call that playing.
Every now and again, he'd upload viral remixes
Jesus.
that garnered more attention to him, but he faced the problem of he had so many viral videos, but nobody was really there for him, or his skits. Well, till he began getting noticed for content that was only successful down to his
Happy
own
Wheels.
personality and his music skills. This happened around 2009. So you know the series Everything Wrong With by CinemaSins? It was
Huh.
kind of like that, but in this era. He was just summarizing things happening on the screen and the plot of the movie with music and jokes.
Ground shot helicopter, girl walking to.
God, he made
This extended to
so
popular trends,
many of those.
ads, games, and it worked very well for him and launched his popularity further.
and then
than
there it is,
had
the
ever
gaming
been.
videos.
It wasn't just down to these viral remixes he was making. It was down to the remixes and him. People were even getting interested in his content outside of this series. And he kept going. He struck whilst the iron was hot. Jesus, is Bioshock Infinite that old now? Around 2010, he was doing numbers and actually outshined actual celebrities of that time who
Like I
he
said,
went to school with.
he
like
was-
Alan Richson,
he
or
was the
Reach,
number
as
one
people
gaming
would know him,
content creator
in
back
which he was
then.
paid to surprise him and conduct an interview in October 2010, and Alan even exclaimed how much he loved his videos.
Oh my god.
What are you doing?
I'm interviewing you.
Get out of here!
Nope.
You walked down the street because I watch your little videos. Is this a joke?
Toby at this time was considered YouTube famous. He'd technically made it. He would get recognised in public, requested to attend certain
Dude.
events, and for those early
This was
years of
so
YouTube, it seemed
back
like
then
he
when
was everywhere.
YouTube and everything was so simple.
Why do I remember this?
PewDiePie, what the hell?
This was from 2013.
Jesus.
And people would watch his content regardless of what he was uploading. He even
Everyone used to watch that like it was no Everyone used to watch that like it was no problem back then. Nowadays, everyone just looks at it and calls it the biggest cringe, the biggest embodiment of cringe.
started his gaming channel, Toby Games,
There
in
it
the
is.
same year, uploading
There
let's
it
plays
is.
of Halo, Fallout New Vegas, and a plethora of other games. Most
yeah.
of those videos also seeing large success. But everything he had done previously would pale in comparison to two
massive
things he
back
was
then.
about to release in September 2011. That being his
Minecraft.
Minecraft series
Oh,
and
yeah.
his biscuit nugget video.
Nugget biscuit, nugget in a biscuit. Nugget in a
Cannot
biscuit.
explain to you how
Dude,
influential this music was. It
dude, holy crap. In school, you would hear so many kids singing this song. I was one of those kids. I was going nugget, biscuit, nugget in a biscuit, nugget, biscuit, nugget. It was so cliche and it was so... Oh, dude, the good memories,
was
goddamn.
the only thing sang on the playgrounds. It was actually a flex to say you watched the 10-hour version all the way through.
Oh
and
my
his next
God.
song was like a
Ah, the
Matisse
diamond
painting
sword.
that even rivaled the
Oh, yeah.
Beatles. That being the release in 2012 of I Can Swing My Sword.
Sword, my diamond sword, sword. You cannot afford for.
Oh my God.
A lot of these
We are
songs
watching a time
and animated
capsule.
videos
Yeah,
are
I think-
still to this
I think majority of you guys who watched me, you guys were like 5 years old, or maybe you were like in your 3 to like 8 years old. You guys are like teenagers now, or like probably like almost at the age of 20. I'm 22 right now, and this was like the stuff that I grew up watching and whatnot. And this was like the shit, the ultimate stuff that you would watch when you were
Dave
growing up.
sitting at his most popular viewed videos on his entire channel, and are what people still recognize him for. Except
Oh
for
my
the
God.
Biscuit and a Nugget 2, that was complete dog shit. Terrible sequel. It's like the Megamind 2 of the series. But in 2012,
Oh
he
my
now
God.
had the full attention of the internet, and in the same time reached
Excuse
2
me.
million subscribers. And once again, things were going
Oh,
very
yeah.
well for Toby. He had a popular gaming channel which shaped many's childhoods. He had a vlog channel which saw similar success. He was on TV at one point. He was in movies,
Jesus.
as I mentioned before. He had a successful animated show on his channel. He made his own game,
Dude,
which
the animated series he made was also super good, dude. Oh, he had everything. Like it's kind of confusing how this guy really went downward.
didn't do too well due to the fact it took way too long to develop and came
But-
with a whole host of problems,
Jesus.
and the hype just kind of died around it. And sponsors absolutely loved him. But these were the golden years for Toby and his
Oh, yeah.
career from 2010 to 2014.
Mm-hmm.
As from 2015 onwards, he faced a sort of lull with his growth. But with that being said, he did reach 5 million subscribers on his main channel.
Yeah, that's
which is
when-
a feat
but that's
only
when all the
few
other YouTubers
accomplished,
started
but
rising.
There were no more explosive growths that all of his channels had previously seen, and it
Yep.
could have been down to a number of things.
Yep.
It was around the time Minecraft saw its great stagnation between 2015 to 2018, before later being
Mm-hmm.
revived again. That, along with his usual content like his literally trailer series, which I explained previously, just wasn't grabbing
Jesus.
attention like it did initially. Toby also wasn't uploading as regularly as other competing channels, like the rising stars of that
Yeah.
time, PewDiePie
Let-
and Markiplier.
Like I said, Markiplier and Pewds were like new around this time that Tobuscus started popping off, which is once again when for you guys who are like more younger and you're watching me, for let's say for example, like eventually you're gonna be watching me, right? And like people are gonna be like, yo, this is Mon Oblivious. Like I started watching him when he was like, what, just like 2,000, 3,000 subs, and look at him now, he's like 100,000 subs like 4 years later. Sadly. But it's like there's so much that that like a lot of people kind of missed out on the fact that like Markiplier and PewDiePie were known to be like small creators around the time, and then they started to rise up when Tobuscus was like at the top. It's just that it kind of just looks like that he wasn't able to keep up with it.
who were almost uploading daily, but Toby was uploading a lot less frequently, and when he did upload, it was the same things he was doing in previous years. Maybe people just outgrew or were no longer entertained by Tobuscus anymore, and his online character and persona he showed in every video. It could have been any one of these
more
things.
like
Don't get it wrong, Toby was still getting views and people still loved him. He wasn't anywhere near, as some would say, a dead channel or fallen off. He just wasn't seeing the huge growth he saw in previous years or what other channels were seeing within the years of 2015 to 2016.
He didn't really take any examples of what other people were doing.
Only going to get worse, as allegations and controversies would surround him and stain his name.
Of course.
Remember to hit that like button.
Of course.
On my mental anguish.
So in 2016, a number of allegations were levied against Tobuscus.
I didn't hear about
this.
this.
Behind the character he shows on his YouTube channel, he was the complete opposite.
I don't want to get too far into it, but people had been hearing that Tobuscus was like a colossal piece of shit for years and years and years before anything came out about him publicly. Yeah. Literally every single place the guy went, he created a bad story about himself.
What?
Like, I'll just say that.
You know Toby Turner?
Of course.
Toby Turner was like the Great Gatsby of YouTube at one point, where he had parties every single weekend at his house, and they were like extravagant parties. And this is like a party, there's like drugs going around and drinking going around.
What
2016
the
was
hell?
not a good year for Toby. It was alleged that Toby was stalking one of his ex-girlfriends that recently got married.
Mr. Toby Turner was still trying to go after Jacqueline Glenn.
He was sending messages, emails, and at one point left a note on her car, and even joked about doing this in one of his vlogs.
I didn't think he'd go down that quick. Goddamn! What? Okay. I'm kind of speechless. I didn't expect that to just. Dude, that was just like multiple bomb drops right there. Holy shit.
Months ago, and is now getting bad again. It seems like every time he thinks I'm involved with someone, it gets worse. Like one time he showed up at my place while I had a roommate, and like got into the back and left a note on my car.
The biggest U-turn in YouTube history. Yeah, holy.
Months ago, like a month ago, I think it was, he posted a video on his channel called Too Late, where he laughed about the fact that he was sending me unwanted emails.
You know, I haven't been, contacting my ex or anything, which is good. I just send her stuff that makes me think of her, which doesn't count, but it's cool because she did respond. She was like, please stop sending me stuff. So it's a good sign.
Drama Alert covered the story, which made Toby respond by saying he actually didn't know she was married.
Back together
what the fuck?
But it didn't work out. And she's
what
married
the
to
fuck?
But it's just freaking, there's so many drama
This
videos.
isn't human!
I was told she wasn't a serious thing, so, obviously that information was factually
What
infactual.
the hell?
Once again,
He just
did know she
casually
wanted to be
uploaded
left
this
alone.
crap?
But this claim against Toby would be one added to a pile at the time, cementing the fact that 2016 was the worst year for Toby.
What?
Allegations from another previous girlfriend going by the name of F
Oh
or April Fletcher,
my
who was another
God.
content creator around that time period that created covers of songs. In April of 2016 would release a Tumblr post alleging that
God.
after their on and off relationship starting from 2011, that Tobuscus was definitely not the light-hearted, wholesome, goofy guy he was previously revered for. The post lists allegations of emotional abuse and manipulative behavior, physical abuse and non-consensual advances, and rape. Claims he had drug problems and at one allegations of
Every time I would try to leave, he would tempt me with saying he was ready to come out about dating me now. He would accuse me of trying to ruin his career and insult me. I'm bailing and crying and asking why he is doing this to me, and he is screaming at the top of his lungs that he hates me. That Jesus Christ.
Manipulative behavior, physical abuse, and non-consent.
Kicks a stove and I get out of the way as he punches the pantry door. It gets a giant crack in it. But this was when the abuse started getting very violent at the end of the beds and starts having, oh boy. By this time I was to, oh god, I was always conditioned to always make sure he blurry text the end of the bed and starts having blank with me the entire time. I'm crying and mumbling for him to stop, but he keeps saying shh. What the bro?
Advances
What the
and
fuck?
claims he had drug problems and at one point drugged hair, and that throughout their relationship
Oh
had
my
cheated and possibly done things
God.
with other females. At the launch of these allegations, other women would slowly come out about their own experiences with
Oh
Toby, like
my
Amelia Callan,
God.
who spoke about similar
This is nowadays, this is like VTuber exposing. Dude, this is a this is a nuke. This is a nuke that just shuts him down.
She had with Toby.
And he had Molly on his tongue, and he kissed me, and I didn't know it, and so I had to take it. So I don't doubt that he put drugs into her shot.
And multiple other women would come out with their own stories, many suggesting he did have a drug problem. However, some looking back at these allegations years later,
the fact that he's a drinker and whatnot, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that he has drug problems.
No criminal charges were ever filed against Toby, and no hard evidence was ever presented, except for a screenshot of exchanged messages at the time. This could be down to victims just wanting to bring their stories to light,
the
and
old
move on from the
iPhone
situation
messages,
and not want to start a lengthy legal battle. But once again, there were a lot of people coming out with similar experiences, at least for the drug abuse and cheating.
With all this, Jacqueline is Toby's ex-girlfriend.
Jesus.
He cheated on me with.
I helped him curb the drug problem. I helped that a lot. I tried to get rid of alcohol. I tried to get rid of drugs. One of the things that I heard, and one of the reasons why I didn't really like when he would hang out with April, was because I knew that she was one of the people that introduced him to Molly. You know, there's two sides to every story, and I feel like people are only getting one. And I understand that he probably did treat her like shit. He probably did. He probably did make her cry. You know, he probably did, you know, lie to her about his relationships with other people. And
I mean, let me be honest there. You know, if someone just offers me drugs, then I just immediately turn around.
I believe all of that is true.
Especially for like friends. If a friend just casually offers me drugs, just that's it. I don't know that person anymore.
She was not a person who wouldn't take that drug. He likes to feel attractive. He likes people to want him. I think that's part of the reason why monogamy is such an issue, because he likes feeling wanted by people. So it's
yeah, I guess that explains the whole YouTube thing. Holy shit.
hard for me to imagine a situation where a girl was saying, no, I don't want you, and him being like, too bad. Like, it just doesn't make sense. That ruined it for him every time with us.
But some did speak out in defense of Toby, like Cara Babcox, who was another content creator and had a short sexual relationship with Toby. She claimed that Amelia Callan's accounts of the story was disingenuous at times, as sometimes she didn't add context, like how she was married when she was sexually interacting with Tobuscus.
I was actually the girl that she mentioned in the video who introduced them. And one thing to kind of prove that everything is based on perspective is that she left a lot out in that video. But she didn't mention that when I introduced them, she was married. And she went ahead and slept with him the same day of her own accord, and took Molly the same day of her own accord.
But goes on to say that with their personal experience with Toby, he most definitely had a drug and self-confidence problem.
hell?
But I knew that he was unstable mentally. From the drugs to just really needing that gratification of sex.
Dude, what is
they were initially released,
what is going on?
Was they were not true.
I've never done anything without her consent.
Oh my god, everyone's just stabbing each other now.
Video, this situation had a lasting impact on him.
Have I been a bad boyfriend? Sometimes, yeah. Did I party in my 20s?
Sometimes, dude. All the information that's being thrown out everywhere kind of just pins you as like the ultimate bad guy. Holy
Yes,
shit.
Too much. Am I over that period of my life now? Hell yes. But for 2 years, I felt like I was stabbed in the back and left to die while the world told me it was my fault. I almost gave up.
And once again that the allegations were not true, and points to a Tumblr post that attempts to discredit the original victim, which claims she was known to spread rumors about other people, was somewhat obsessed with him, and that some things in her story did not match up with others. But from most accounts of Toby, he definitely did have a drug problem and maybe self-esteem issues. These allegations did have somewhat of an effect on Tobuscus' reputation, and at the time, either down to said allegations or the content he was uploading, Tobuscus' audience wasn't as big as it used to be. He saw
it's just dead.
viewership, which affected future uploads, as in some videos he can be seen going on occasional rants about the YouTube algorithm.
Speaking of which, do you happen to know the person who handles the algorithm situation? Because I would just love to go to their house and just ask him a question.
But all around, Toby saw...
I thought I was a psychopath. Jesus Christ. Dude, there's not a single... Sorry, I had to lean back on my chair. There's not a single picture here where Toby looks sane. Holy shit, how oblivious we were when we were kids. How oblivious we were when we were kids. Because this guy is just a psychopath at this point. Like, what the absolute hell?
No significant growth ever again. But he did see more growth in the hate for him as he began to voice his many controversial opinions.
Yeah, N-word, dude. N-word's making a huge comeback, which is great because my ancestors loved it. I mean, I just, I haven't said it yet.
In recent years, Toby has been very vocal on his platforms.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the f... Huh? I'm speechless. He sounds like the equivalent of like that. He sounds like the equivalent of that one guy that I would play with in a Call of Duty lobby, and he just says dumb shit like this, which is like hee ha ha yeah. It's like it's another day in COD, or just another day in like Marvel Rivals. Believe it or not, like right now as I'm playing Marvel Rivals, there's still a lot of guys who like say dumb shit like this. Dude, this is Toby. This is Tobuscus. And he just whips this. This guy is like not only a psychopath, but holy shit, he turns out to be a dumbass as well.
Regarding his
No, like massive disrespect to him and whatnot, but holy shit, he had so many opportunities to turn things around, and he doesn't choose to do it. Looking at you, this is the guy you used to watch? Well, I watched him up till like 2015, because like he mentioned earlier in the video, I used to watch him as a kid. And then I moved on to watching Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Vanos Gaming, H2O Delirious, and I did watch like some Minecraft YouTubers back then, but they got canceled. And then yeah, that was like about it. I also watched Uber Haxer Nova a lot and the Creature Hub a lot, but then you know what happened to them? They got destroyed. Then I started watching Cow Chop a lot. They got fumbled down as well. It's like I don't know, dude. Like I said, this is the guy that was popping off, but this was when we were all kids. Now we're grown up. Now we understand what like controversy and all this stuff is. So it makes sense that like why everyone's dropping the elbow on him, because what he's doing here is completely psychopathic. It's something that children cannot really understand, and by all means, he does deserve to get literally smacked on the head for it.
Political opinion and views on other controversial topics, many relating it to a crash out on the same levels as Kanye, some even saying he's on his Kanye arc of his career, as around the time of 2020, Tobuscus had basically somewhat given up on his main channel. There are entire years he's stopped uploading, but he was more active on things like his Twitter and vlogging channel Toby Turner. He was just kind of going about his life, and yes, you still can't tell from his vlogs if this is his persona or his actual personality. They've sort of morphed together.
Man, I like this hat. So
what
funny.
The hell?
But he also began to share his opinion on
Holy
things
crap.
like COVID whilst driving, which I feel is just a tad bit dangerous.
I don't know what it's like to be in a place where there's still lockdown going on, but
You know?
Who knows? I mean, maybe it is best to just continue to starve the economy until everyone dies.
I mean, sure, maybe there's gonna be a.
Can I just say he looks like he's just reached his limit here? Or he should, like, there's... I'm just saying, for some reason, I feel like there's just no longer life in this body. Like, I don't see the energy there anymore. It just sounds like he's pulling at his own strings. He's pulling at his own corpse. Which is so... It's sad to watch, but it's also like, Jesus Christ, why did you do this to yourself, in a way? Jesus Christ.
Magical vaccine that comes out, puts that chip in you. Oh, just kidding.
He talked about the trans discussion, albeit in a sarcastic tone.
Oh,
and if you want some doctor to help you realize your real identity, why not just have him pay him $20,000 to take a scalpel to whichever parts of your body need to fit who you really are?
But the most notable event was him taking a picture of Kyle
Okay,
Rittenhouse,
oh boy.
who still to this day is a controversial figure in America, after going out armed with an AR, in his own words, to defend against rioters at the time, which resulted in him shooting and killing 2 people and wounding another, which many say was racially motivated and uncalled for, and the other side says he was basically trying to defend himself, but ultimately the charges against him were dropped, but it still remains a contended topic, and at the height of the controversy, Toby was in defense of Kyle.
And I really wanted to meet this kid. I was so excited. I wanted to meet him ever since I saw the whole video where he unfortunately took the lives of a couple convicted pedophiles.
A lot of his videos from this time
Okay. I really want to say that's enough, but I need to see how much more farther he decided to go.
Him ranting about controversial topics, and many just label this as he's not doing too well mentally, and that's why he's like this. This eventually did carry over to his main channel, where he uploads sporadically, and the quality of videos varies tremendously, and sometimes he uploads just random songs. He more recently was in the mouth of the internet again for
Y'all, anybody else that needs to be told they're a...
saying slurs on Twitter, with an excuse along the lines of, it's just words. And even more recently, he was on LolCow Live, hosted by Keemstar co-host Buggy. But every time I see Buggy on this show, it has to be some sort of like humiliation ritual with how they treat him. But Toby joined the show, where I don't know if the age is showing, but he struggled to turn his camera on in the Discord for about 10 minutes. And he talks about his dog dying, which... that dog was so cute. There goes another piece of my childhood.
Oh my god.
So
Oh, the
later,
dog!
My dog died. Of old age. He's very old. It's fine. And
the dog!
It sucks, dude.
It sucks.
And he continues to talk about some of his past controversial takes and says sometimes he is trolling, probably especially on Twitter.
What's going on with
the dog was also a huge part of his channel back in the day. No. Oh, I forgot what was the dog's name, but he did a lot of silly skits with the dog. Oh, that's so sad to hear that the dog passed. Oh.
the crazy tweeting? Because people think that you're like losing it or something.
Losing it? Yeah, my guy lost his mind.
Like, we're in a weird place, don't you think? It's like when I open up X, first of all, I think it's a very bad place to even open up. That's what happens.
It's truly hard to engage with people on.
Let's be honest. Like, I myself recently got into X, and as I learned how like really bad or dangerously treacherous that it is. And let's just say you just need to be real careful with what you say on X, because it could just immediately put you in the bad zone. That's all I could say. You need to be real careful with what you say on X.
Because they're literally, everyone is trolling over there. They're trying to get a reaction from bigger accounts.
I'm trolling a lot. I'm trolling all the time.
But-
But people come at me because they're
yeah.
like, "Oh, you love Kyle Rittenhouse." I'm like, no. I watched the video, and he shot a bunch of pedophiles who were all literally
What
convicted
the
pedophiles
hell?
who were white.
They also had a moment where they reassure each other there's no beef, since Keemstar did report a lot on his allegations at the time.
Bro, I've never talked to you ever.
Isn't that wild? Like, you know, our
Can I, like, dude, look at the state of him. Like, his face is red. He looks like he's losing it. Like, my man, like, I feel like my man's living in his own mental asylum. Like, he's supposed to be in a mental asylum, but no, he's the one that rents it. He rents the mental asylum, therefore he just lives on it as long as he wants to. It makes no sense.
careers are kind
People
of.
think that I hate you, and I don't hate you at all.
I appreciate
Because I
that.
watch your videos. I've never seen anything you've said about me because I can't do it. But I don't blame you because I like that you call out this stuff that's evil.
What
And
the
then they
hell?
both bond over a rant about how he knew something was going to happen in LA, especially with the virus and everything.
He looks
because the
like
government told
Asmongold.
him.
I left LA pretty.
He looks like Asmongold. What? I mean, let's be honest. Like, nowadays I do watch Asmongold because Asmongold has some good takes and some very shitty ones. But regardless, people like to watch him because he's always like honest with his opinion. His state of living, yeah, no, that is true. Yeah, no, but once again, he's in a much more insane state of it. He looks like he just hasn't gotten better at all. I mean, Asmongold has gotten like slightly better, which you can at least give some slight credit for. But like, still, he's living in like a dumpster. But Toby, on the other hand, dude, this guy looks like he's lost it. His mind's gone.
The government called me and said, "Get the hell out of LA now." I'm like, all right.
Jesus Christ.
After that, so like I had like a 6 months heads up, so no one in the world knew about it except for me, and I tweeted about it, and I got my account restricted, and I got my videos taken down.
God.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know things that only I know, and you are telling the fucking truth.
But a lot of people did not like some of the takes and stuff he's been posting
my
online.
God.
But admittedly, some people have been resonating with the things he says. But I would have not have thought the Toby 10 years ago would basically be the same Toby, same character, just more political and controversial. It is definitely polarizing compared to his previous content. But Toby is still doing things off camera. As he mentioned on LolCow Live,
What
he
the
is a part of a
hell?
few projects like a game, so we haven't seen the last of Tobuscus yet, and I am interested to see what else he is going to do. So in conclusion, Tobuscus is somewhat of a relic of an older time, and in my opinion a more simpler time on YouTube, but he didn't adjust to the way the platform and his own audience was changing. In later years, this, along with the allegations made against him, basically solidified his downward spiral, which only got worse with his political fueled rants.
What
But he
the
was a part of
hell?
my childhood, and it was a pleasure to go back in this era of time. It was very nostalgic, and it actually made me miss it somewhat. But yeah, that's all I had to say, and bye-bye.
Okay. No wonder why he disappeared off the face of the internet. He went from I would say the best quote to put this on is how to go from hero to zero. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I'm not even gonna dig further. It was just nope. I'm out. I'm out. Nope. I'm good.